Okay, so I rolled out a long slab. I had to push the clay. I had to put the roller like this way to get it a little bit wider like that. And then I finished it off this way. I took a roll of tape and traced the circle to cut out a paper circle that I can use as a stencil. And then I can place my stencil on my slab, push it down. I can use a tool like a needle tool or a pencil, sharp pencil, and cut out my circle. This is going to be the base of my mug. Remove that. So I have a circular slab to build the base of my mug. Now I have a piece of paper here, and I'm going to use this as a stencil to get, first I want to get the height of my mug. So this way is going to be the height. I can hold it up to another mug in the room, like this one, and see what is a good height. So I can go about right here, make a little snip, fold this over. So I'm making a stencil to lay down on my slab. So fold that over, and remove this little piece up here that I don't need. Okay, now how long does it need to be? Well, I can take the paper and play with it and adjust it to about how big. Well, actually I need to take my base and wrap my paper around my base. Bring it together. And then I'm going to, I want it to be a little bit longer, the clay to be a little bit longer than I have here. Oh, actually, so I'm gonna snip it where it comes together. And that tells me where I need to end it. I'm gonna end it just a little bit longer than that. Give me a little bit extra. And so this is the stencil I need for the sides of my mug. Now I can lay this down and see, is my clay gonna cover the paper? It's good here, it's not good there and there. So I can take this pencil and remove a piece here and here, and I have that extra piece. I can smush those into kind of like a Band-Aid piece that's gonna go here. And here. Smush those in with my finger. Smear them over to make the lines not show up. Smear them into each other. And then I can re-roll this so that I have enough coverage for my stencil. Pick it up, test it out. It's gonna work. So that, and now I can cut it with a sharp pencil. Oh, I forgot. On one end, I'm gonna cut inward and kind of go under the paper. I'm gonna go straight down the paper on the sides like this. Oops, it's getting away from me a little bit there. Extra. And I went inward on this end, so on this end I'm gonna go outward. That way when they meet up, they have more surface area to connect with each other. So I can pick this up this up. And I have a nice rectangle slab to wrap around my mug. I'll get that extra off of there. And there's a few places where I need to just take a little water and smooth it out, get it ready. Right there, I kind of miscut a little bit, made a mess up. So I can kind of smooth that out with my finger, maybe remove a little bit. And this edge will be at the bottom of my mug, so I have a better edge on the top where people drink out of. I've got my circle base here. I'm going to score the surface where they connect, rough it up. And this is the edge that I wanted to connect to that area, so I'm going to rough up this edge, giving the water little divot spots to settle in and kind of get a moisture for a seal, for them to seal into each other. I'm going to take water and rub those areas. I'm going to test it out first, is probably what I should do, and check and see if it's going to make it around. And it looks like it is going to make it. So before I push it into each other, I'm going to put a lot of water in here. Lots of water where they come together, and it's gonna meet here on the edges. Oh, I forgot to score this edge. Rough that one up, and this edge. Now I can add a lot of moisture to the outside of my base. Add some moisture here, and I can add moisture there later. I'm gonna go ahead and take this, and there's some burrs and some rough spots. I'm gonna smooth those out. It's easier to do now than once it's all put together. I'm gonna take this and put a little pressure to it as I push it around the base, putting some pressure in there. Get that out of there. Oops, I need to get underneath the camera, don't I? Under the camera. And now I can put some pressure over here. Where they come together, I might have a little bit too much clay, so I might have to remove some of that. Use my pencil and just kind of go right through there. And that seam is going to need some hydration. I can pull it apart. And I'm going to smush those into each other really well. Use a lot of water to smooth things out. And then the seam right here. A lot of water there. And there's a tool that you can scrape. There's a couple tools. You can use the knife tool. I have a ridge here. I can scrape that down with a knife. Or this tool right here, the wire tool. I can pull that through there and remove some of that clay. And then I can go back over things with water. Lots of water. I want that seam to disappear. And I can use a lot of water to smooth things out and make it look handsome or pretty. This crack down here, scraping that out quite a bit. Scrape those in. You don't want any cracks. You got to think of this thing going in the dishwasher. And where things could get icky and it could hold bacteria is little tiny cracks. So you don't want any cracks anywhere on the outside or the inside. Little burr right there. Smooth that out. Water does wonders for smoothing things out. So that is, and down in the bottom there, I need to use a paintbrush with water and smooth that in through there, because I cannot reach in there with my finger. Or I can try this knife tool and kind of scrape that. The knife tool works pretty good. We definitely don't want that crack down in the bottom where your slab meets your base, and then that crack where your slab comes together on the side. You want to scrape that out, scrape it into each other. You don't want any cracks where coffee or tea or milk. Had somebody make a cookie mug last year that has a spot for a cookie holder in the bottom of it. That was pretty cool. So I want to take a paintbrush with water, and I'm going to smooth it around in here and try to finish off those cracks, and then applying the handle would be the next step. Applying the handle, I can usually grab some of my scraps and put them, maybe squeeze them together, squeeze out a log that I can smush into a mini slab with my fingers. It can be, I can roll it out with a rolling pin to get it really nice and smooth, or I can just kind of hand build it, scrape it out. And I usually go to the seam because that's usually a little bit of a rough area on the mug. This needs to be scraped in more right here. And before I attach it, I put it in my fingers, kind of like, how do I want this mug to feel in my hand? I got some extra there, I can pinch it off. So I kind of get a comfortable grip in my hand, and I like to wrap them, smush them around the top edge, and then smush it into the side down here. So I'll make a flat area where it attaches, and I'm gonna rough that up with my pencil. And I'm gonna rough this up here, and I'm gonna use some water, and I'm gonna smush that, push it in, pick this up. Make that flat spot, and I need to get my hands inside the mug for pressure when I put this pressure in here. And I'm gonna take my knife and smooth this in quite a bit. And a lot of water to make it look nicer. And I did a fast version of this. Normally, my handle's gonna be a lot nicer looking than this, but I'm just trying to get a video that doesn't take forever to watch. So you really want that handle on there securely. So a lot of scraping and smushing and pinching up here. There needs to be a lot of pinching and pressure to get that on there. And it's gonna start, and then I'm gonna readjust that handle, smush it in, scrape it in up here. Sometimes there's extra clay on the knife that I can put in there. And this one is, I'm gonna reshape this a little bit up here and add some water, and I'm getting a nice mug that I'm gonna be really happy with. Push down on my thumb a little bit, and it just has some cracks that need some more water and some more scraping, and then it's gonna be ready to go.